How's it going, guys? So here we are in the second episode of my Minecraft series and the second episode of my channel. So just like in the first episode, I'm very new to YouTube. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't even have editing software, to be honest. So this is sort of an experiment more than anything to me. But I think we'll just leave where we left off in the last episode. In the last episode, I gave you sort of a tour of everything within this empire. And so there was a lot to show off. I think I showed you pretty much everything. I think there's, with the exception of a couple buildings, maybe like here is the fishing shack. Not much to see there. It's a simple building where we store a lot of the fishing supplies and whatnot. Because like I said in the first episode, my dad is notorious for fishing and getting all kinds of resources that way. And then here is the bee farm. Campfire array just under the man-made bee farms, or beehives, rather. And there's one buzzing right now. They're stocked up with honey, but I'm not going to harvest that just now because that'll be for later. I can do that off camera. But anyway, I guess I'll show you to the other end of the empire. Now up here is one of the railroads that leads to the Great Bridge, and the Great Bridge is for another video because, well, currently it's incomplete, but it passes the tree farm just over there and then makes its way into an underground system. But more importantly in this area, I think I'll show off the portal. Now this portal, I love this portal. This is pretty much our main portal, and we used purple glass and actually the natural lighting of the portal to give you that effect. And it goes straight through this hill. Even gives you a great view of the docks, which I'll show off here in a second. Nothing too crazy. Here's the portal itself. Just a chest for storing goods. Yeah, you can see, let's just say when I was in the development of the Zero Tick Pigman farm, which I showed off in the first episode, we had some issues because, as it turns out, that farm actually linked to this portal, and let's just say I got slaughtered a good few times and collected some resources as a result. We have actually a hidden room back here. I don't know why that's there. We never really did anything with this, so there's not much to show off. But anyway, this actually leads into the station for the railroad, and I'll show that off in another video. It looks a little messy right now. But that's just because we don't really have a choice. This is actually the top of the station, but so I can't fill this in for grass, which is a little annoying, but it is what it is. And then over here is the docks. So this is actually old project, but we just recently finished up this part. And then you'll see where the empire is newer because there's less stuff, but mostly flat ground. So this is the underwater station like I was talking about. And also, we will take a trip on the railroad in another episode. It's like a 7,000 block railroad, and there's a ton of checkpoints and all kinds of stuff to see along the way. But anyway, here's one of the ships at the docks. Like many things, it is currently incomplete. But a very old relic of this world, nevertheless. As you can see, lightning has actually struck the ship in its time of existence because, well, just happens, I guess. I'm lucky it didn't actually burn down the rest of the ship. I probably should have went with a different building resource, seeing as how the rest of the docks is made of dark oak, and it kind of blends in a little bit. But either way, this is the dock section of the empire, like I was saying before. And so if you walk over here, all mycelium, just sort of a natural transition into where the actual docks are. And this is where the smaller ships would come in, the boats and whatnot, the trade ships. Here we got the pub. Very, very simple design. These are some old designs. Wow, I would not build like that nowadays, but got a little campfire over here. Now this is newer. I just recently installed this. And then if you go down here, this is, like I said, incomplete like many things, but come over here, yeah, we have a little underground section. course, like I said, it's incomplete, but it's going to make a nice little viewing area. Here you can actually see the cove that's within the docks, and just down below, this is actually where we store all our skelly horses. Now they can't get out of here. There's even a conduit just there. I have yet to move the conduit. It's a little bit close to the window, but that'll be for later. Anyway, we go up here. I'll show you the next building. Well, there's not much to see in the next building. It's pretty much just the exterior mostly that there is to see. Yeah, this building was very difficult to construct, and I'm still not really fond of it. However, it's the first diagonal building, really, that I've successfully constructed. Of course, you can see all the shipping crates and whatnot on the docks. We're storing chickens for whatever reason. But yeah, there's that diagonal building. It's not so much diagonal as it is like curved. It's very strange. But yeah, that's the only thing we could put in that corner that would make sense and fit. So that's that. I have the tower there to tie the docks together. The closed docks with the dark oak roof, that is. So now this is where we're currently working in the Empire, and as you can see, all of this land is flat, and it didn't used to be that way. There used to be several mounds and hills and you name it that my dad actually took down primarily by himself. We even extended a lot of this land, and instead of just covering it up with dirt, we literally filled it in. So I think this portion used to be ocean, and we filled all that in down to the bottom layer of the ocean. It's pretty impressive, but that was more an OCD reliever than anything. But yeah, we have all this flat land to work with, and now this will be for future episodes, filling stuff in, doing the Chicken Cove monument. And I say Chicken Cove because for whatever reason, chickens just spawn in mass quantities over in this area. Now recently, it feels like they've shifted a little bit, but yeah, for whatever reason, they just love that area, and they all seem to collect around there. But anyway, this is where sort of our whole setup is. This is where we store all the items and goods that we've been using to be working in this area. So you can definitely tell we've been doing some work. Don't worry about that. I plan to put another town hall over here because this is actually a mob grinder just down there. And so, of course, like I said, the wall continues all throughout the entire empire. It encases the entire empire, and this is pretty much the other end. That's where it stops. Fortunately, we couldn't connect it right up to each other, but this is as close as we could get it. And for whatever reason, this was a very difficult thing to construct because this is actually a diagonal section, and we actually had some dimension issues with linking all this up, but I managed to do it by making this diagonal, so I'm pretty proud of that. That was a very difficult thing to construct. But anyway, if we come over here, there's not much to see over there, by the way. It's mostly where we are storing our villagers, and unfortunately it's extremely laggy right now, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So we'll come through here, and here we are with the most recent castle and fortress. Now, the primary purpose of this is what the old castle was, which is to be sort of a home. But I figure, because we have cleared out a bunch of space, which I'll show you here in a bit, I figured that we maybe would want to do something else with that. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So there's just a simple piston door. It's a two-way system. You can come up or go down. It's a little bit finicky, but we plan to put a building over that. And then this tunnel system takes you into the fortress. Now, I'm going to show you the space we cleared out, and then I'll explain what the purpose of that is. Well, I might as well do it now. What you're about to see is the area that we cleared out, and the idea is that eventually we're going to make this like a training course. Now, the other end of this tunnel, by the way, leads into where the skelly horses are so that warriors can take the skelly horses into battle in the oceans. but that's not really necessary to see. We might as well go over here to, into the actual fortress itself. So this used to be all overhangs, and we actually cleared it out fully and created this cobble wall around it. I'm not too sure if we're going to cover it yet, but all of this space you see is going to be reserved for this training course I plan to put under the fortress, which is where we are now. And then, so if we go up here, the staircase is not finished, as you can tell. It's just very rough right now. Yeah, very rough. Ooh, I didn't even realize there was still dirt here. But anyway, here's the rest of the castle. So now we're actually inside the castle. And there's all kinds of rooms just like this. I still need to add a bed. But there's all kinds of little rooms like this dotted around the fortress. Of course, this fortress, while it looks somewhat complete on the exterior, it is far from complete on the interior. And this is actually the entrance. We'll go back through there a little bit later, just so we can get out of here. But then, yeah, through here, I was very proud of this door, because it actually doubles up as a shelf. I couldn't really make I couldn't make a door that looked very proper without sort of ruining the aesthetic of this room. So I just decided to double it up as a shelf, and you can't even tell there's a door there, really. Simple grandfather clock. And then up here is just a little storage area. Nothing too special. There's, of course, the training course like you saw earlier. I'm going to make a staircase going down to there. And as you can tell, there's been zombies here. We are in hard mode, so they do tend to break down doors without hesitation. This is one of my most favorite rooms in the castle. These are mainly guest rooms, but a little bit of a storage area more than anything. Then, of course, there are little courtyards over here with apparently creepers ready at the ready. Not expecting that yet. Clearly, I need to do some lighting up of this area. But there's a bunch that needs to be complete. Let's be honest here. This is just one of the towers. Like many things, incomplete. So if we go back through here, we can go into the, let's go into the main room. So this, I have no clue what I'm going to do with this room quite just yet. I guess it'll be just like a greeting hall. Maybe this is where we do our planning. We may have a map wall or something. Is kind of the idea right now, but it's more just a showroom than anything. And then in here is the true showroom, or in other words, the throne room, if the buttons would work and I could speak. So it is nighttime right now, so you can't see the effect that this window gives off. But I specifically built this window out of yellow and orange and white so that it would better match the floor. Mostly the yellow, obviously. But I think it's the morning, it just gives off this incredible glow because the sun rises just behind this stained glass window. So that's the throne room. And then up here, here's the very incomplete section of the castle. Up here we have some of the newer rooms. Yeah, incomplete. Just a little chimney painting. I love this painting. That's one of my favorites, to be honest. A little bit of a gathering room, sort of a living area. And, of course, most of these rooms aren't furnished. But I'm going to be adding things into them a little bit later. It's a little hallway section. You can tell I'm working in the area because of all the shulkers. And then over here, it's just another little living room area. And if you come upstairs, this is where I think the royalty would stay, in this bed. Yeah, because you can actually overlook the throne room. And then, so you have all this nice shelving. And actually, if you come up here, into that little wardrobe or whatever, it'll take you up in here to where the other rooms are. So this can only be accessed by the king, or whoever lives here that is considered royalty. So pretty much me or my father. So let's go down here. Not much else to see in the fortress. I've kind of given you an idea what its primary purpose is, and it's really to be not only a house but a housing area for the training grounds, which we will probably construct in a future episode. That'll probably be an exciting one. Here's a map wall of the entirety of the fortress and the what used to be the overhangs and a massive hill in this area. All of this we flattened out um, by hand. I mean, not by hand, with tools, of course, but very interesting. So over here is something that takes some explaining. This is actually a shrine to the second dragon fight of this world. And as you can tell, there is actually another egg. And in all honesty, I have no way of truly explaining this to you. But to put it short, we had a dragon. There was some sort of glitch that spawned in a dragon a second time in our world. And so when we entered the end, thinking we were just going to be spending some time gathering obsidian from the pillars to complete the wall, because, like I said earlier, either in this episode or the episode prior, this wall I intend to completely fill with obsidian, the inside, that is. But anyway, so we were in the end, and to our amazement and surprise, negatively and positively, there was another dragon that had actually spawned due to some sort of glitch. And I say positively because, well, that meant we not only got a bunch of XP, but towards the end of the fight, we ended up getting a second dragon egg. Now I have absolutely no clue why. To my knowledge, you're not supposed to get any more than one egg in the world. But yeah, to avoid any suspicion that this egg was duped, this truly was obtained through a glitch. And so, of course, we decided to make this very royal-esque shrine as a result. And in fact, these iron bars actually come from the cages that house the end crystals during the fight. So there's another look at the wall. And then over here is where I'm really intrigued to show you. But actually, I think I'm going to sleep first. Nah, I might as well show it to you now. I don't really know how to pause video quite just yet, so I'll just make it short and sweet. Wow, I say short and sweet, and I don't even know how long this episode's been. But anyway, this is the ball field of the Empire. So this kind of goes into sort of the fantasy aspect of the Empire. This is not intended to be completely medieval, but more free and open and sort of fantasy-esque. But not to say baseball is fantasy, but it kind of can be in this setting. But anyway, this is our ball field, and I just recently built this as of the pandemic, shall I put it. Most of baseball, well, really all baseball, has been canceled. And so being a ball player myself, I kind of got a little anxious and wanted to, well, I couldn't stay away, let's put it that way. So I made myself a baseball field. And it's actually playable, believe it or not. You stand here in the batter's box, and there'd be a pitcher who shoots a bow at the strike zone right here. And you have to close the fence gate before that arrow hits the strike zone. And you can actually shoot two different types of pitches. You can, well, three really. You can shoot a changeup that drops in front of the plate. You can shoot, or throw, I should say, a fastball, which just goes straight into the strike zone. Or you could shoot a curveball that, by chance, will go over the fence gate and hit the strike zone. So, very interesting. It's a lot of fun to play. Definitely for a future episode, I'm going to try to get my dad on here so that we can play a game together. Because we did manage to make it so that we could play with only 2 players. Or at least I made it so that you could play with only 2 players. So if we come over here, this is actually one of the newer projects of the Empire. And this is the zoo. So if you come over here, we have this very nice entrance. And soon you'll see the rainbow beacon. We'll get to that here in a bit. Or not necessarily rainbow, but color-changing beacon. So down here is where we store all the birds and whatnot. Well, I might as well just show it off to you. Very nice little habitat here. We've got a cage over the top and various types of birds making their extraordinarily obnoxious sounds. Here we have the pandas and even an ocelot who is just there, actually, yeah. I'm surprised because most of the time he's hidden. And over here is where the llamas are going to be. Now I have yet to breed more so that they inhabit a little bit more of this area because they like to kind of bunch up here for whatever reason. Then over here are the snow foxes. So we have sort of a mountain biome where there's some snow, and which I don't know is completely accurate. I think you can find them in the mountains where there's snow, but I'm not too sure. It's just kind of an interesting little aesthetic there. I don't know what he's doing, but whatever, I guess. Anyway, so that's just another entrance to that exhibit. So I just closed that off. And here are for the future goats that Mojang has yet to add to the game. But yeah, just staying a little bit prepared there. And then here is for simple mobs, everyday mobs. You see on the regular cows, sheep, pigs. And I'm going to breed them up so that there's a little bit more of an abundance of them in this pen. And then here's a horse stable, because of course they spawn in the plains biome where what this used to be. Well, this used to be plains and forest, I guess. And then over here, of course, is the actual snow biome where we house the polar bears. For some reason, I can't seem to breed them. Now, maybe I'm just dumb and you just simply can't. But that's very unfortunate in my opinion because I want a baby so bad in there. Of course, that would only be temporary, but it is what it is. And then here's sort of my instructions on what else I have to add. And then this is the beacon itself. You can see all the redstone. Now, if you haven't already been able to notice, there is sort of a theme. All the flags and even this beacon share the colors of the Irish flag, and that's because both my dad and I share Irish blood and ancestry. So that's sort of the purpose behind that. Show off a little bit of our Irish pride. And then over here, of course, this is the turtle exhibit, and once this glitch is over and done with, these turtle eggs should hatch. And then over here is for the dolphins and the tropical fish, which I have yet to finish. Like, once again, many projects in this world I have yet to finish. But anyway, really the last building there is in this area is this, which is the trading hall. And as you can see, there's already one villager in there, and he just so happens to be our one and only villager in this building, but also our only mending villager in this entire world that we have. We used to have one, but for whatever reason, he, went to heaven, let's say. Or at least that's what I believe, because I don't know what else could have happened to him. So he's named the Mender. And, yes, so, of course, there's another Irish flag. This, actually, the main reason this building is here is because this building was actually inspired by Jacksepticeye, so in his Minecraft series. So we actually called this the Septiceye Hut. But for the longest time in this area, when we flattened all this land so that we can later build buildings like this on top of it, we were in the midst of watching his Minecraft series, and so we kind of decided to make something similar to his castle. Now, of course, this is nothing like it, but it somewhat resembles his fortress. And so that's where this idea came from. And because it's sort of a pioneering hut, that's why we have it in the center of this building. Of course, you can see we're still working in the area because we have, wow, that's a lot of sponge. I had no clue that was here. Wow, there's a bunch of iron too. Not that we're low on iron. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything there is to see in the Empire. This, of course, is a 2-episode long series. The tour, that is, of this world, or at least this Empire. Oh, and here's the back of the fortress. But yeah, still incomplete. But that's not a bad thing, because there are many projects that have yet to be finished in this world. But they'll make good videos in the future, I think. Kind of help me to get more familiar with YouTube. I think I'm gonna end it there. But we might as well get over in front of these castle gates to give you more of a proper, more proper exit. But just for your knowledge, I plan on doing more episodes based around this world. However, that is not to say this is going to be the only content on my channel. I do plan for this to be a Minecraft only channel, but that's not to say that this is going to be the only thing I show off, this world that is. I also plan on doing Anarchy if some Anarchy realms end up opening relatively soon. I'm in the midst of working on a few, so hopefully that works out fine and I can start introducing that to my channel. But anyway, this is, I guess, the tour of my world. There are a couple few things I have yet to show off, but in the majority, I've shown off everything there is to show off, in this area at least. And I think in the next episode I may take you on a journey on the railroad so that you can get a look at all the effort and work that was put into that project. But more importantly, to show off some of the checkpoints and even the Sand Empire, which is, I think, roughly in the negative 2000s or something like that. But there's a bunch of checkpoints to see. There's a couple mansions, there's a couple shacks in the mountains, all kinds of really fun stuff to look at, and maybe even provide a little bit of inspiration to you and your Minecraft world. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode, and have a good one.